Hello, hello, pet pros. Um, let me just check that this is live in the group. Yeah, because I've had some tech issues before, and it's always a nightmare when that happens. So let's just make sure we're all good. Yes, yes, we are. I can see myself. So hopefully you'll all find your way here to this live. So essentially, it will. For those of you that come along to any of the lives going forwards this week, all of the lives you will find, they will pop up at the top of the group's feed. So yeah, that's essentially what will happen. They will just be at the top, so you can come in, and if you can't see it, refresh the page, and then you'll be able to see those lives. All right, awesome. I can see some people coming along, so do give me a hi in the comments. Do give me a hi. Love to see who's watching with me. We can have a little bit of a chat as well, get that interaction going. I'm all about that. So yeah, do let me know who's here with me. I'd love to see who is here. Um, oh, I'm hoping I can see the comments as well, because sometimes Facebook does weird things with my live and it just says no. Like Facebook says no to those to those comments. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to see those. All right, so, oh, I can just see one popping in. Monica, good to see you. Awesome. So glad you can join me for these bonus lives as well. So just a little housekeeping, I suppose. So we are kicking off officially the boot camp next week. So on the 3rd of November, that is when we will officially start with, the live trainings and the tasks for that week. This is just like some foundational trainings that I want to give you that are important to creating passive income in your business, but they're not like part of the my unique system. Okay, they are a part of it, but I want to stick to the very specific structure and tasks that week. So yeah, this is going to help you. It's going to set the foundations for going into next week. All right, awesome. I can see a few people. Laura, good to see you, and Samantha and Holly, fantastic. Yeah, I can't see them in the live itself, which is super frustrating. This always happens to me, but we will deal with that. And I can see them, but they may disappear, which is a little bit annoying. Um, okay, so today's training that I want to talk to you about is all about your mindset when it comes to passive income. So this is essential because actually, when we look at passive income, it's a little bit different to any other kind of way that we would make money in our businesses. So if right now you are, say, you're a dog trainer or a groomer, maybe a walker, a pet sitter, a nutritionist maybe, or a vet physiotherapist, the traditional way that we make money in our businesses is to like trade time for money, right? We work a certain number of hours and we get some money back for that time that we put in. We're like in the trenches. We are there doing the work, the messy work. We're up close and personal with our clients and their pets. And that's essentially how we make our money, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with that at all. And a lot of people love their businesses and the way that they work, and that's absolutely fine, right? But when it comes to that way of working, there will always be a cap on the number of people that you can work with and the amount of money that you can make, because there are only so many hours in the day, right? There are only so many hours in the day that we can physically work. Yes, you can hire a team, like you could do that if you wanted to go down that route. Not everyone wants to do that. Like, not everyone wants to have like a team of dog trainers or a team of groomers, a team of walkers. That comes with its own separate challenges and potential headaches when you're managing a team and running it that way. When we look at passive income, you can keep things so much more streamlined and scalable, right? You can scale to like limitless it's a limitless opportunity, essentially, limitless possibilities here, because you can create something, an asset for your business, and you can sell it again and again and again and again. And it means that you don't have to be present, you don't have to trade that any of that time essentially for the money that you're making from that, because you've created this incredible asset for your business that you've created a system behind as well that supports it, and you can sell it again and again. So that's the wonderful thing about passive income, right? But there can be certain potential mindset problems that we have around this. And there's one very specific one that I always think about, which I'll give you an example of in a moment. But the problem with having these like mindset barriers, these limiting beliefs, it means that you can end up, if you don't address them as well, because we need to address them, it means that you can potentially end up sabotaging your success around this. You can procrastinate around it and really put it off for like weeks, months, years. Like I've spoken to people 5 years ago, right? That's like I was speaking to like during COVID times, basically. And them being really, really keen to create passive income in their businesses. And I speak to them 5 years later, and they're still in the same position. They still haven't created that amazing online course idea that they had, or that membership, or that like ebook that they really wanted to create. And they're still in the same position, right? So we can really end up, if you don't address those mindset barriers, because that's all it is really, it's like those mind monkeys and those limiting beliefs that stop us from doing what we want to do and creating the kind of results and outcome that we want as well. So it can really stop you from starting if you don't address these mindset barriers. So it's really important that we dig into the uncomfortable stuff, the stuff that causes us like, yeah, just some discomfort sometimes. Because sometimes when we're working with our mindset, it can absolutely feel quite jarring, right? And sometimes it can bring up some stuff that we're not quite like ready for potentially. So we do need to address these things, right? So for me specifically, when I thought about creating passive income in my business, which was many years ago now, so I'll give you a quick background on my business. For those of you that are new here and new to me, because I think there are quite a few actually, which is awesome. So I am a pet business strategist, a certified pet business strategist and coach. I'm a #1 best-selling author now. I am a podcast host. I do lots of things in my business, right? And I essentially help people to become, what they know that they're meant to be, right? I help them to create their limitless pet businesses. They're super scalable online pet businesses and create a wildly profitable, easy, and fun business that really supports the lifestyle that they want to lead. So I used to trade time for money, like many of you will be doing here. And I used to essentially write copy. So I was a copywriter, like which is essentially, I know that's quite confusing because sometimes people confuse that with copyright, as in like COPYRIGHT rather than copyright, WRITE. So I was a copywriter and I created marketing copy for lots of different businesses. So I wasn't niched in any kind of space, and I was there like writing that copy. There wasn't such a thing as like AI back then either. So you can't just like say to AI, write this thing for me and make it sound amazing. You had to write the copy yourself. And of course, like copywriters these days will need to do that as well because that's unethical to do that anyway. But anyway, I'm getting off track there. So I used to write marketing copy for businesses, and I was trading all of my hours. So I was there in the trenches doing that work and trading that time for money. And I had my own like belief around you have to work really, really hard if you want to be successful in business. And you may have this belief, this sneaky, sneaky belief in your as your own reality as well. Because this specifically for me came from what I could see and evidence that I could see growing up. And for me, my dad, who still now, bless his heart, works and is like 60, I don't know, 64 maybe. He's a bricklayer. He essentially lays bricks all day, every day. And he did that when I was very, very young and would leave the house at like 7 a.m. in the morning and come home at 6 p.m., like 6 or 7 days a week. And he worked really, really hard for the money that he brought into our lives, right, for his family. So for me, seeing that, it makes me think, and it made me think for years and years and years, oh, you have to like, pull up your sleeves and like push really, really hard if you want to make money in your business, if you want to be successful. But that's the thing with today as well. That is the thing with right now. We have so many more opportunities to us. We have so many more, like, so much more access as well to things like technology that mean we don't have to work all of our hours and work our fingers to the bone to make a decent living. We don't. So this belief that I had, it took a really, really long time to actually turn that around and understand that, oh, actually, there are easier ways and more fun ways to make money in your business, right? So we need to really address these things if there are things like that coming up for you, right? If you have any of these limiting beliefs or barriers that are your reality right now that may stop you from making passive income. Because if that is like a story, essentially, that you're telling yourself, like it was a story that I was telling myself, then it can mean that you just put it off. You put it off and you put it off and you don't do it. Um, or you just like, yeah, you just sabotage yourself along the way. You make things more complicated than they need to be. So we really need to look at these things, right? So you might have other kind of limiting beliefs here. Let me know as well if that is something that you believe that came from that, you have to work really, really hard if you want to be successful in business. Let me know if that is kind of like your reality as well, if that came from your family or whoever, like your community in some way, like your local area, or any kind of groups that you're a part of, if that has shaped how you think about how you can make money in this world, if you feel that that is kind of creeping in for you as well around your mindset. Let me know if you resonate with that essentially in the comments. Because it is for a lot of people. I found that a lot of people do think, yeah, it's just like it's been drummed into us essentially as society that we have to work really hard. So, yeah, there are easier ways. That's what I want to say. You might have other blocks as well around things like you're not tech savvy enough to do this, potentially. So let me know if any of these resonate with you. Do just put them into the comments because I want to see what's going on for you guys so I can kind of shape as well our experience going through the next 2 weeks. Because I work with a lot of people, a lot of pet professionals who say, oh, I'm really, really terrible with tech, just like so, so terrible. Um, I wouldn't know where to start. I don't know how to do this. I just hear that all of the time. But the most incredible thing is that everything is learnable. Like you can be taught these things and you can learn these things really, really simply. It's not unachievable, right? It doesn't mean that if you say now that you're really, really terrible at tech, that you always have to be really terrible at tech. You can, yeah, of course, you'll need to put some like learning time into that. But then after that, it's smooth sailing and you set these things up and you can do it again and again. So we shouldn't fear the tech, is what I'm saying here. We need to embrace it because there are so many amazing systems and tools out there that we can use for our businesses that will support us in like exponential growth, like limitless growth. We need to embrace those systems and those tools that are out there Because if we don't, we're gonna get left behind essentially. And we don't want that. We do not want that. Debbie, that was definitely drilled into my mindset, and I'm closer to your dad's age. Yeah, yeah. I think as well, this is definitely more of a generational thing, older generations, where that was definitely drummed into you and us, and it filters through, right? It's one of those things, but it's a funny thing because today what we have access to, technology, we can make things so much easier on ourselves. We just need to like be open to that. And that is one of the big things actually that I want to bring to you guys for this experience this week and into next week, is just be totally open to what I'm going to share with you, because it may challenge you, it may stretch your way of thinking, and yeah, I just want you to think like there's a whole world of possibilities here. There's a whole world of possibilities as to the direction that I can go, I can take my business, and the amount of money that I can make here, and the impact that I can make in this world, and how I can live my life going forwards, and the lifestyle that I can actually have and adopt. It's really, really exciting. So I want you to open your mind to this, is what I want to say as well, to all of it. Right, you might have limiting beliefs as well around how you're allowed to earn money that come from potentially your parents and community. So as I just mentioned there, right, we can have cultural things going on here potentially, or just sayings essentially that we had in our families. So for me, it's like money doesn't grow on trees, things like that, where people say things like that, and it becomes ingrained into your way of thinking and your belief system, right? So think about where you've heard these sayings and things that people have said in your family, but also in your wider kind of community as well. Because there may be something going on there that is impacting how you think about how you can make money. And we don't want to take that on as truth, essentially, because it's not truth. That is just someone else's way of thinking. That is someone else's thought system, right? Okay, just gonna come back to you guys before these disappear. Hey Tracy, good to see you. Alberta, Canada, amazing. Love that. Yeah, Tracy, I'm 55 now. Sherry, I'm uncomfortable in front of a camera. I was also taught that you have to work hard, have an education, etc. Yeah. Um, there are so many ways to make passive income in your business, by the way, Sherry. You don't have to be in front of the camera, but you can, this is all about pushing comfort zones as well. And I'm all about doing that. You can, of course, become comfortable in front of a camera. And because, yeah, you wouldn't believe me if I told you that I'd say about 6 years ago, maybe, I was I had a crippling fear of being in front of the camera, right? Of being visible and out there. And I was terrible, really, really terrible, actually, at just being on video, presenting, doing lives. And I would physically shake when I would show up on a live or do a training or whatever. So it does get easier the more that you do it, for sure, when it comes to being on video. But you can make money passively in different ways. You can create an ebook of some sort and sell that for £7, £14. There are ways that you can do this, or you can just create a mini course that doesn't actually involve you being on camera. You could do it in a different way, right? Yeah, also taught you how to work hard, yeah, have an education, yeah, etc. Yeah, and I want to say this as well. You do not have to be the almighty expert when it comes to creating an online course, a membership, an ebook, whatever, right? You just need to have some form of knowledge that you can package up and put into a digital product, essentially, right? You do not have to have all of the qualifications, be that expert. You do not, right? You can create something that is going to help people. All you need to be is just a couple of steps ahead of like your average pet parent and create something that is going to help them. That's all you need, right? So yeah, I just wanted to mention that as well. Um, so yeah, there are lots and lots of different limiting beliefs here that we could potentially adopt. And again, so for you, Sherry, that could be for a lot of people, actually. You might be telling yourself stories that you're not great on camera. And I did tell myself that for a really long time, and it limited what I could do in my business and also my growth as well. Because often with being on camera and doing lives and doing like reels and stories and things like that, that can be a quicker way to grow. It's definitely like all of my teachings, all of my like philosophy and approach to business is very much about doing business in a way that aligns with you. Like that's really, really important to me, and that I talk about that with my clients as well, because not everyone is going to want to market themselves, put themselves out there in the same way, and you don't have to. So I am actually a massively introverted person. Um, so yes, I do show up on camera, and I do, I go live, and I've got lots of, I've got a podcast and stuff like that as well. So I'm out there quite a lot. But, being an introvert, it doesn't mean that I'm like shy, I suppose, now, because I've grown into this and I've grown into a way of being able to present and talk about what I do and help people and be of service. Um, but I'm not constantly on all of the time, right? It's not me constantly having to show up because I have the strategy and I have the systems behind me. So we need to do it in a way that does feel good for us, right? That's really, really important because otherwise it's not going to be something that you can sustain long term. And as with everything with marketing, it's about being consistent as well. And yeah, with all of this, it's about being in alignment with your energy and your personality as well. Okay, so you may have some other beliefs as well around, there might be some things around like in a personal sense, like I hate the sound of my own voice. Like I've heard that one quite a lot as well. Or like you hate the way that you look, like you need to lose weight first. I get that as well. I was putting off for ages. This was a couple of years ago now. I was putting off for ages doing some new trainings for my Limitless Pets Academy because I was just I had a little bit more weight on me because during COVID, for some reason, even though like I work from home, I've got like a home office. This is my home office, and nothing really changed for me, I suppose. But I ended up putting on like a stone in weight, and I don't know why that happened really, because everything was exactly the same. Maybe it was just general stress from like the world being shut down. I don't know. But that happened, and I was putting off like doing a photo shoot for ages because I was like, oh, I just need to lose that stone. And I put off doing those Limitless Pets Academy videos as well because I didn't want to have that like documentation, I suppose, of that and me having to, put that out into the world when I was feeling a bit heavier than I wanted to. So these kind of things can make you procrastinate, right? But it came to the point where I was just like, oh, do you know what? Screw it. I need to get this done. I hadn't lost the weight, but I needed to get it done. So you need to, in these kind of situations, put ego aside because that's what it is, right? It's just ego coming to the forefront. And um, know that, you need to be there. You need to be of service. You need to be showing up if you want to get yourself to where you want to be. And how you look, the sound of your voice, all of those things, none of that matters. Like we focus on that stuff. That doesn't matter to anyone else. It doesn't matter to our audience. It doesn't matter, right? They don't focus on that. They focus on, you and what you have to say and, all of these things. So we need to know that. Sometimes we can get so caught up in our own heads around like how we look, how we present ourselves, all of that stuff. Um, but it's just it's stupid. It's really, really dumb. So we need to stop doing that and address these mindset blocks that we might have around that for sure. Things like too old to change things up now. Like who feels like that as well? Who feels like that? That their time has gone, their time has passed, they're too old. Like there's no point in me trying to do something different now. It's never going to work. Those kind of things, right? I do work with quite a lot of slightly older women actually, because they do come to me for the tech side of things where they really struggle with strategy in the tech. So they're quite drawn to me around that. But I totally get it when people think, I'm too old to do this now. But you're never too old. You are never ever too old to change something up and do something different, right? All you need is that desire, that passion to do it. Okay. Joe, I'm big 50 next year. Yeah, okay. Yes, I'm introverted too. That's what drew me towards your academy. Yes, don't like my voice, don't like the way I look. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we need to really like dig into this stuff. And really essentially like journal it out and work on your mindset because it's really important. Like a huge part of just of being in business is essentially mindset. It's like 90% of being in business. You can have all the strategy in the world, but if you don't have a strong mindset, you will always find a way to sabotage yourself. That is the sad truth about it. Yeah. Tracy, our potential clients are only interested in getting their problems solved. They don't care what you look like or sound like. Absolutely. Yes, Tracy. That is it. Yeah. That's 100% it. They just want to know what is in it for me. How can you help me get the result that I want? They don't care about what you look like, what you sound like. None of that matters to them. Shari, yes, feeling like I should have started all this decades ago. Yeah, yeah. It is never too late, though. It is never, ever too late. You can get yourself on that path right now, right? That's what I'm here to help you do this week as well. I want to help you to really get started on this, give you the foundations, give you the steps that you need to take to get there. Because when you Oh, it's such a wonderful thing when you start looking at this side of business and you get something up and running and you get that first sale through and you've done all of the work already and just the beaming like glow inside you that you feel from that is just wonderful. It is so nice. And I want to help you guys do that as well. I want to help as many people as possible create passive income in the pet industry as possible. Create passive income because everyone should have a passive income stream in their businesses because it means that you have this way to scale in a limitless way. You're not capped. You like if something happens with your in-person services for whatever reason, um, like you have that backup. You have this other way to support people and help people. And if you're at capacity as well, you can say, "Oh, I have this awesome like online course. I'm fully booked at the moment, but here's an online course," and you don't have to send them away or say you're gonna have to wait like 3 months, right? Okay, Tracy, I refuse to think like that. Having spent years trying to get out of racing, yeah, now I've created this business I love. I'm determined not to mess this up. Yeah, exactly. You love what you do as well, which is like the first step to all of this. We all need to be like, it's so important that you love what you do. So, so important. If there's any part of you that says, shit, I'm waking up in the morning and this feels heavy, this feels just like I'm in a prison, like, you're just constantly unhappy with the way that your business is going and the things that you're doing every single day. That's not good, right? It's not sustainable. Something's going to break at some point. So we need to make sure that we are building out our services, our offer suite. We have a business model that supports the way that we want to work. It aligns with us. That is so important because we want to, we want our businesses to be running 10, 20, 30 years time, right? That's what we want. So we need to find a way that works for us. That's what, this is all about, passive income. Joe, glad I found this. Amazing. Love that. Okay, so other things here, right? I want to give essentially what I'm doing here is giving you some potential limiting beliefs that I've heard that have come up for my clients, for people in my community, so that you can start thinking about what might be coming up for you and what might be standing in your way, right? So I've just got a couple more here for you to think about as well. Pet parents don't want to work this way. I've heard this one so many times as well. So pet parents don't want to work online, right? I've heard that one so many times, but they do. If you essentially, what we need to do is position. Yes, for sure, there will be people that want to work in person, and that's the only way that they want to work. But there will be so many other people that are happy to work in an online capacity, and in fact, will probably think that is the better way for them to work. And there are many benefits to that as well, for the pet themselves. So there are lots of people out there that will work in this way, right? And if you're feeling like that at the moment, like if you've tried it before, maybe you've put something out there and people haven't bought, it's most likely a positioning issue. It's most likely to do with how you've positioned that particular like online course, membership, ebook, whatever it is, and you haven't quite hit the mark in terms of your messaging around that, and you haven't quite hit on like the big problem that your ideal customer has and how you solve that problem with that digital product. So with anything that you sell, we need to nail that positioning and that messaging around that service, that digital product. That is so, so important. So if you've found before that people are saying, oh no, I don't really want to work online, then you haven't explained it properly. That's all it is. You haven't explained what like this particular thing that you've created is going to do for them, the outcome, the result that they're going to get from that. You haven't quite communicated that properly. That's the only thing. People will work online if they know it's going to help them and get them the results that they want. That's the thing. And the last one, which is possibly the biggest mindset block that I see at the moment, which is the economy is struggling and nobody's buying right now. I just need to wait this out. Talk to me, guys. Like, is that something that you're feeling right now? If you admitted to yourself, potentially, somewhere in there, like you're feeling a little bit like, oh, yeah, the economy is really bad right now, no one's buying. Is that creeping into your business and the way that you're taking action in your business as well? Because if we are thinking that in any capacity, then this does seep into everything that you do. It seeps into your marketing, it seeps into how you talk to your potential customers, it seeps into your decision-making process around your business and the strategy that you actually go with, the strategy that you actually lay out for your business. It seeps into everything, your messaging. So if there's any part of you that is thinking that, then that is going to impact upon the action that you actually take. So it impacts your thoughts, and your thoughts impact the actions that you actually take. So it just means that you'll come from this place of, yeah, lack. And that is impacting everything that you do from there. Okay, I'm coming back to you guys. Tracy, as a cat groom, I'm a bit worried I'm more limited in what I could create and sell. So many things. We're going to talk about that as well, Tracy. But there are so many things that you can do here. Okay. Holly, yes, 100%. Yeah, okay. Yes, I have this a lot. Sarah, is always on my mind, but not sure how it changes how I do things. Okay. Tracy, now you mention it, there's always someone who's questioning my prices, so why would they spend the money on a course or ebook, etc.? Right, okay. Okay, so there are lots of people out there right now that are creating fear essentially around this, fear around the economy, fear around there being, not enough clients, there's not enough money out there. And I want you to know this is just a belief and it's just energy, actually. I don't want to dig too much into that because that's not what this is about. But that is just a belief, and beliefs are energy, right? And that is someone else's belief that I choose personally not to give the time of day and not to participate in. I'm not available for that. I'm not available for the people that think, you know, this is just how things are right now, and there's nothing that I can do, and like living in that victim mentality basically is what that is. I'm not here for that. So, and I don't want you to be here for that either. I want you to reshape how you're thinking and um, come at this from a different perspective and know that there is an infinite number of clients out there available. There is an infinite amount of money out there that you can claim, that you can have access to, because there is. There's no less money now that the economy is the way that it is. There is still the same infinite amount of money out there. We just have to claim it, right? We have to come to a decision that actually I'm not my mindset is not being swayed by all of this fear mongering around me, which is what it is. Like you see it all of the time. It's like it's in the news. It's telling you constantly that like prices are going up and everyone's struggling right now. You see it from people around you potentially as well, depending on who you keep company with, I suppose. Online, social media, right? There is all of this noise around the economy, but actually, we can shape our own reality. We can shape our own reality. We just need to be proactive in the way that we approach our businesses, right? Let me come back to you guys a second. I am missing some comments here, unfortunately. Hang on, let me see if I can bring them up on here. I created a mini package and texted some customers and then felt like I was begging for work. Yeah, okay. And it's when you, okay, so everything in terms of like selling, it comes from our energy, right? People feel your energy. And when we approach selling, we need to essentially come at our entire business with an abundant mindset. And we need to understand that actually there are plenty of people out there that will want to pay us for the work that we provide, right? And yeah, you said mini package, didn't you? So we need to come at this as it's already done, as in they already want this, like you are 100% behind your service that you're going to be offering them. You know that it delivers results, like you have complete belief in that service and the price that you're offering for that as well. And you know that it is worth like 10 times more whatever you're putting on that. You need to come at those conversations that you have with your potential clients as believing that and knowing that you're the prize. You are the prize. You are the person that is going to help them get the results that they want, right? You are the expert that is going to help them here. So we need to, imposter syndrome can be such a big thing for a lot of pet professionals and people in business generally. But we need to make sure that we can stand by who we are and what we offer and how we help people and know that we get people results and just essentially bathe in that, right? Have that energy coming from you when you are communicating with people. Because energy sells, right? At the end of the day, energy is a big part of the selling process. Well, it should be. And you need to have your energy right when you are interacting with anyone, when you're having like a one-to-one conversation, like a discovery call with anyone, when you are putting out marketing messages, when you are, posting on social media or sending emails. We need to come at all of those messagings and those communications um, from your higher self, essentially, the person that already has everything that you want right now. So I talk a little bit about this in my book, actually, because it's so, so important. But you essentially need to adopt that energy from the person that is already there, from you already living that vision that you have for your life and your business. Right? When you do that, you bring that into your energy, and that is how you can sell more effortlessly, essentially. In a nutshell, I'm really kind of, yeah, breaking that down into the yeah, the very simplified version there. But that's what we want to be doing here, and know that our energy is essentially what sells. Okay, so we need to not come from selling and creating, like we can't be in that energy of lack, which is a big thing for a lot of people when you don't feel like you have enough money, right? When your bank account is basically saying, you know, you've got like £100 in there and that's all, and you've got some bills coming out, you can't essentially let that seep into anything that you do in your business, because that negative energy, that desperation in a lot of ways can actually come through to everything else, like your messaging and the way that you speak to your customers. So we need to almost become delusional, right? And step into as much as possible that successful version of ourselves and live life as if we are already her. Okay, that will take you so so far in business. It's a funny thing, like being delusional, but I want to invite you to do that and walk. You know, like literally take a walk, take the dog for a walk, um, as if you are that person that's already achieved everything that she wants right now. I do this often, and it's a really good exercise. It's like a visualization exercise, essentially. You walk as if you are already her. You've already achieved what you want. Okay, I'm missing these comments a second. Let me come back to you guys and see if I can have a look at some of these comments in more detail. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so can I see? Okay, Tracy, I'm determined to remind myself that I can do this. Yes, you absolutely can. You 100% can. I'm here to help you as well because you're already inside the academy. You know, we're there to help you. So you can absolutely do this, and you have plenty of time to do that as well. Joe, if they can pay to go on holiday, they can pay for their dog looking after. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And that's the thing as well. It's about people will pay for what they think is important, right? So if you can help them see that your like passive income offer is important, that it's a must-have, not a nice to have, people will buy it, regardless of what price it is. It could be in the thousands. Okay, so Sarah, don't you feel that so many people are doing online business these days that you wonder if there are enough customers to go around? There are like, how many people are there in this world? There are like 8 billion people in this world. I think it's 8 billion now. Um, there is so much opportunity online, and actually, if you look at your local area, that's a very, very small pool. When you go online, there are so many people that you can reach, so many like pet parents. Um, it's not saturated at all. This is not a saturated space. So I just want to, yeah, I just want to highlight that there are so many opportunities here for you to make money for sure. Um, I've been advised before that people buy from people, so getting my face out there is what's needed. Yeah, hope that's not the only way. I've done some videos for sure, but prefer to write or talk. You can, so you can absolutely do this in a way that works for you by writing audio as well. So you will see that, like I talk about core content a lot as part of a marketing strategy, like having core content is really important because it's where you show up as that expert, is where you yeah, you basically like give people like tips and things like that, and you show off your expertise. So you can do this in three ways: a podcast, video, or like a blog. The main three ways there. Um, these are places that people can go and they can like binge, watch, or listen or read all of your awesome stuff. So for me, that is a podcast for me. So I don't show up on video like every single week. I put out on every Friday a podcast episode, and that audio for me works much better because I don't have to show up. I don't have to be like camera ready. It feels nicer for my introverted self, right? So you can do that too if you wanted to. You could create, it doesn't have to be like um, yeah, it doesn't have to be like a podcast as such. You could actually do this in a different way if you wanted to, and just have like audios that you share through like Telegram or something like that. Like Telegram is a big thing these days, where you can create something over there for like your community. You could do it that way. Or you could have a blog if you wanted to on your lovely new website that you're going to be creating. So there's lots of different ways to do it, but you don't have to be on video all of the time. It is nice if you can show up now and then, but yeah, you don't have to make it your staple thing. Okay, so all right. This is awesome, guys. This is so lovely to see you as well, just getting involved today, and sharing all of these things about, your own beliefs, the ways that you think, your worries and stuff like that, because there can be a lot of stuff that comes up for us. There can be so many different things that, stop us from going after what we want, and making us essentially think, no, that's not for me. That's not for the likes of me. This is for other people. This is for them over there who are younger, who are prettier, who are, more put together or whatever. We need to really understand what those beliefs are. So it's really important that we deal with any of those beliefs so that they don't actually end up standing in your way and becoming a problem down the road, or stopping you from actually starting in the first place, which is one of the big things for a lot of people, is that actually, it is just like making you procrastinate. So I don't want that for you. So when you do get some form of inspiration, I want you to act on it, right? When you get that inspiration to create something here, I want you to really go for it and act on that and start building it out, fleshing this out. Don't let those horrible limiting beliefs hold you back, or keep you stuck in like, yeah, procrastinating for weeks, months, years. Because I don't want you to be that person again that I speak to in like 5 years' time. You're like, oh, I haven't created it yet. I've just been putting it off because life's got busy, things got in the way. I don't want that to be you, because it doesn't have to be complicated. It actually can be really, really easy to get started. Like there's a whole workshop that I created recently where I took people through how to create their digital product in like 3 days. Literally, that can be all that you need to get this set up and then making money for you. It doesn't have to be this big, massive thing, first of all. And actually, it's a good idea to start small if this is your first like rodeo in passive income. So I'll be talking a little bit more about that as well. All of this stuff, we'll be talking more about it. So what I want to advise you to do today, so like a little exercise. So we've talked a lot about some of these mindset barriers. I want you to dig deep into your own beliefs around this. So I've given you some examples as well to really like get you thinking about what could be coming up for you, because it's so personal. Like these mindset barriers, these limiting beliefs, they can be so personal to us. So I want you to really understand what that looks like for you. What's your reality around that? And journal on it. So I love journaling on things. This is the way essentially that I wake up every morning and I write out what is going on for me. I offload all of the crap that is going on in my head and then work to basically release that and let that go. So yeah, get yourself, like I would definitely advise everyone to get like a lovely book, like a journal, one of those nice ones, not a crappy, not something like this, not one of these, because this is just like a boring business one, but a nice one, right? Ah, let's have a look. So I've got a couple, I've got quite a few in here actually. So this is my like old one, like something like this, you know, something like that that's really nice, and you open it up and you can journal in it, right? So yeah, I just advise that everyone journals. So you want to essentially share the first thing that comes to your mind here when you're thinking about what could potentially be standing in your way of creating passive income. And you can start off that sentence by essentially writing, I'm not allowed to make passive income because, and then just go for it, right? Like lay out exactly what's going on for you, what's coming out of your head, just offload um yeah, what that is, what that reality is for you. You can do that now actually if you want to like put that into the comments. So I'm not allowed to make passive income because and then put in what you feel is your like primary limiting belief right now, so that we can look to just uncover that, because there's so much like power in awareness actually. When you bring your awareness to what's going on in your head, those thoughts that are running around your mind, there's a lot of power just in that. And obviously we want to let these things go, but there's so much power in just bringing it to the forefront, what that looks like for you. Because ultimately, anyone can make money in this way. Absolutely anyone can make money in this way. Like we've got so much opportunity these days to create these amazing digital products, passive income offers. Um, you know, it's not for like the really, really intelligent people of the world, or like, yeah, the rich people of the world. Like we can have access to some of these tools and stuff for free or like really, really cheap. Um, it doesn't have to cost the earth to get started with this at all. There are free things available out there. There are yeah, just like really low cost things available out there. Sure, there are more high-end expensive things that are available to help you with this, but you know, you don't have to spend a ton of money. Um, you just have to like believe that it's possible for you ultimately, and know that this way of working, this way of making money, this way of impacting people and their pets is possible. It's like, yeah, it's truth. It can work. Okay, let me come back to you guys. Tracy, love your podcast. Listen to them every day while driving between appointments. Amazing, really helpful. What on earth is Telegram? Wasn't that invented a couple of centuries ago? Yeah, it's like a it's kind of like WhatsApp. It's another one of those like text messaging, voice note type apps. So you could do like, yeah, you could run what is essentially like a podcast, I suppose, on there. Um, but yeah, there's lots of options for you, Tracy. There's lots and lots of options. You do your journal in the morning. Yes, absolutely. So it sets me up for the day. Sometimes I don't actually journal in my like journal itself. Sometimes I run these things through my head instead, and I will literally offload what is going on for me. I will talk it out loud, like, what is the thing in my energy right now that feels stuck, that feels heavy, and bring specificity to that as well. What is that specific thing that is bothering me at the moment? So there is this whole process, and it comes from Lenka Lutonska, by the way. This is one of the big things that I've done for the last kind of like 3 years now, because I was in her program before. She has this very specific way of like journaling, and it's essentially to offload. So yeah, you offload all of the things that, well, the big thing that's bothering you right now, get it onto the page or speak it out loud. So if I'm in a rush, I will do this rather than writing it down. And you essentially like you reassure yourself that it's okay to think that way. And because we don't do that often enough, by the way, we don't like say to ourselves, it's okay to think that way. Like you're not a bad person for thinking that way. You're not rubbish. You're not like, yeah, all of these things. We don't reassure ourselves enough. We don't give ourselves that love that we need. And we need to do that more, by the way. So you're just reassuring yourself that it's okay to think that way. This is actually just energy. It's not truth. It is not a truth, what I'm saying here. Um, I let it go. And you literally just like shake it out or like yeah, breathe it out. You let that thought go, as in it no longer belongs to me anymore. That is just a thought. It is just energy, because that's all thoughts are anyway. They're just energy. It does not belong to you. It's not your identity. So you let it go. And then you identify with um, essentially your higher self. You identify with that person that you want to be, that person that you want to become, that you're stepping into. So whatever that looks like for you, like you want to be that like £1 million business owner, that I don't know, like that speaker, that worldwide speaker, that #1 best-selling author, whatever that looks like for you, you identify with that higher self. You feel that, right? You don't just think about it and then like think that's enough, because it's not. You need to actually feel in your body as if you have stepped into her. This is a really powerful thing that you can do. I've already spoken about this a little bit earlier on in the live, but you bring that into your awareness, into your consciousness, actually, in that moment. Because when you do that, you can create amazing things from that space. When we're in lack, when we are in a place of thinking, there's not enough money in the world, there's not enough clients, um, everything is rubbish, everything is shit. Like you can't create amazing things from that space. You absolutely cannot. When you channel essentially that higher version of yourself, that person who already has everything that you want and need, and you live as her, right? That is an amazing thing. That is so, so powerful. And you're going to create amazing things from that space. That's what we want to be doing. So we identify as that person, and you sit still and you listen. And you listen to your intuition from that higher place. Because here's the thing, when we are living in that place of lack, when we are living in that place of negativity, and we try to essentially come up with ideas and create from that space, you will only ever create ideas and create things from the limitations of that space. Right? So when you're living in negativity and when you're living in lack, your ideas will only ever come from that space, and they will only ever be like energetically matched to that space, right? So we don't want to do that, which is why we step into that higher self, right? Which is why we come to that higher version of ourselves. We step into that, and then we sit still and we listen to our intuition from that space, because you will get so many more just the ideas that come from that space, the creativity that comes from that space is going to be so much more aligned to where you want to go, because it's coming from that higher version of you, right? So you sit still, you listen to, what do I need to be? What do I need to become right now? Okay, so it's not necessarily, what do I need to do right now? It's what do I need to be? What do I need to become right now? And that may be, you need to become like happy and feel free. You need to be at peace right now. Maybe that's what it's trying to tell you, because when you do that, you can create more powerful things essentially from that space. What do you need to become? You need to become that confident leader, right? You listen to that. And then you essentially take action from there. Okay, you take whatever inspired action comes to you to to take that aligned action with that higher version of you. Okay, so you can do this whole kind of journaling process. That's essentially what I do, and it's like a 10-minute process. Essentially, it's a 10-minute process. It's a good one. It is a good one because it sets you up for the day. Sorry, that was a really long response to you do your journal in the morning. So yeah, sorry about that, Sarah. Hope that helps. Because everyone keeps putting me down that it would happen. Or I'm not sure what you're referring to there. I think that's got lost in something else I was saying. Because I have so many plates spinning, I'm afraid I've bitten off more than I can chew. Yeah, okay. Yeah. When I downloaded Voxer, it turned out everyone in my address book is on it. News to me. Ah, interesting. Yeah, it's becoming more popular these days, Voxer. It's not one of those, because for a while, for a few years, it was a bit like, what the hell is this app? And nobody knows about this app. And yeah, everyone's just like confused by it. But it's becoming more and more popular these days. I wonder, can I create a digital product if I'm going to be creating a new website? I don't know if I'm missing a part of your sentence there. I don't know. So, okay, let me just make sure I've got, okay, I wonder if I can create a digital product if I'm going to be creating a new website. Yes, you can, because your digital product is probably not going to be sat on your website itself. So actually you could get your digital product ready now, and it could be ready in time to, and you could actually sell it from that platform. Yeah, I would, and you can make this, yeah, you can absolutely do this, is what I'm going to say. Because yes, you've got your website that is being created by Rosie, which is amazing. You can set up your digital product, which is most likely going to be set up on a different platform, right? Because I personally have a website and I use MemberVault for my digital product itself. So all of my online courses, all of my memberships, my group programs, they're all on MemberVault. So you could create that within MemberVault right now, and you could have your sales page on there as well because they have the functionality to do that, and you can start selling it like right now from MemberVault as soon as you get everything set up. And then what Rosie will do is essentially create a sales page on your website so that you've got that on there for like your online course, whatever it is that you're going to create. That will then link to MemberVault in the long term. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. And I would as well, so that you're not procrastinating on it and you're getting started straight away. Okay. I became that down on myself person in my racing life, all tiredness and negativity. Now the Tracy I want to be is not going down that road ever again. Yeah, absolutely. I totally hear you on that as well, because I'm one of those people who naturally leans towards the negative, actually. And I hate to admit this about myself. And it's why I've done so much work on myself over the years in terms of my mindset, in terms of my energy, personally, therapy, all of these things. It's like I've thrown everything at it over the years because I know that if I let it, my negativity will overtake everything else. It's like my default program is negative. We'll lean more towards the negative, and it's such an annoying thing and a hard thing to admit, actually. I'm not one of those positive, bubbly people in a natural way. It's just, yeah, I've had to do loads of work on myself for this. So I totally get you, Tracy, when you're saying that, because yeah, it's tough. It is tough. But that is the thing as well, we can commit to being a different person. We can commit to a different way of life and a different way of looking at the world, right? Because actually, at the end of the day, it is a choice. It is a choice to do that. And we can choose how we feel. We can literally choose. Like we can literally say, I choose to be happy right now. And you can flood your brain with thoughts of like things that make you happy. And you can do that in an instant, within seconds. And it's magic. It's literally magic. So yeah, I get you when you say that. And I'm here for it. Okay. You can do it. I'm exactly the same. I'm a professional. Use great. You can do this. Don't listen to that negativity. Yeah, absolutely. Does passive income all have to be digital based? So what we're talking about here for this passive income bootcamp is digital. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. So we're talking about online courses, memberships, digital products, ebooks, workshops, group programs, things like that, where it is digital and you don't have like yeah, there's no like physical product part of it that we're talking about here really. Because this is where my area of expertise is essentially with the digital product side of things. Okay, so I hope that helps, Joe. Sarah, sorry for the question. How long are you doing this for? As I need to go. I am going to wrap this up now. This has gone on longer than I thought it would. Yeah, for sure. So I am going to wrap this live up now in like the next couple of minutes. But yeah, the tomorrow's one I'm going to try and keep a little bit shorter and sweeter, and the same again for Wednesday. Sarah, I'm like that too, neggy ninny. Yeah. Joe, it's recorded, so can rewatch it. Yeah, absolutely. You can watch these back as many times as you want. There's going to be a designated replay page as well. I forgot to mention that for this whole boot camp. And the pre-boot camp lives will also be on that as well. You will also get, if I, I don't think I've put any like replay links for the pre-boot camp lives, but there will be for next week for the main boot camp. So yeah, you'll get access to the replay page then, but they will be in this group. They will still continue in this group. So you'll be able to watch here. Me too. I set up a big new brand, and I'm currently working on all digital version 2.0 now. Amazing. Love that. That's really, really exciting. Fantastic. I will leave it there now. I'm going to leave it there because otherwise the replay is going to be really long and yeah, it's just going to be hours and hours of content for people to watch back. So I hope you all found that useful because I want you to explore this now. I want you to, again, so that there was a little sentence, I'm not allowed to make passive income because, and I want you to journal on that. And I want you to see what comes up for you. This is really important because we need to be heading into this whole next week, passive income boot camp with that mindset that is strong. And you're just like, you know what, I'm freaking ready for this. I'm ready to go. That's the attitude that I want you to bring to this. You are ready. You are super excited and pumped to make this happen. That's what I want you to bring to that, right? So it's really important that you do think about any of those things that are going to be potentially standing in your way. Okay. Awesome, guys. Have a great day and many happy tales. Amazing. Thank you, Tracy, and you too. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. I will be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time. So that's GMT. We've just gone forward. Nope, we've just gone back with the clocks like yesterday or the day before, whenever it was. My dog is so confused by that. She's waking me up an hour earlier still, which is a nightmare. So I don't get the benefit of the extra hour. And she's like, where's my breakfast? Where's my tea at the wrong time? It's a nightmare. But hopefully she's gonna like understand that things are a little bit different. And we're just an hour later. But yeah, that might be the same for you guys as well with your pets. They're probably like, huh? For those of you that are in the UK. Awesome. So 2 p.m. UK time tomorrow, we will be talking about your big vision for your business and your life. So that's going to be a really good one. There's going to be a worksheet to go along with that one as well. So yeah, awesome, guys. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.